Okay, so Dr. Paul here with you today for today's Peak Provocation, which is coming from a session I had the opportunity to do, a live webinar the other night with our beloved partner, Southeast Asia, Viventus Search Asia. And the people attending this were across 6 continents, hundreds of people. It was just amazing. And one of the questions that came up was this: can you truly improve and learn resilience and grit? And I have to tell you, after doing this work in research for 40 years, we can say definitively the answer is yes. We know this for sure. Why? Because we have measured the change or improvement in more than 1 million individuals across 137 countries. So the answer is definitively yes. And not only that, we understand the difference in the mechanism a bit, and it goes something like this. Resilience, this thing we call your adversity quotient, which is a hardwired pattern of response to adversity, because it is hardwired, can be rewired and permanently rewired and improved. So in other words, you fundamentally do believe change your wiring, your pattern of response when adversity strikes. Grit, however, we truly believe is more like a capacity or a muscle. And because of that, you can strengthen that muscle by using that muscle, but using it effectively. And that's the key part. A lot of grit gets destroyed by using grit ineffectively. But if you can use grit in the right ways for the right things, for worthy things, then you can grow that muscle and have stronger overall grit across the board. So that's today's Peak Provocation. The answer is yes. Okay, so part 2 of the Peak Provocation, coming from our global webinar with Viventus Search Asia, was, okay, how do you do it? How do you measurably improve AQ and grit? Well, AQ, we've discovered, since it's your hardwired pattern of response to adversity, is by having people map out their core response to adversity. So if you measure it and you map it, and then you pick out which facets of your core need the most work, in other words, how do you go at it? Each of these is behavioral. So when we put it in the form of core questions, which are, what are the facets of the situation you can potentially influence? That's control. Where and how can you step up to gain the most immediate positive traction? That's ownership. What can we do to minimize the potential downside, maximize the potential upside? That's reach. And what can we do to get past this or through the worst of this, as quickly as possible? Control, ownership, reach, and endurance. These are behaviors. These are questions. These are the scientifically grounded core dimensions of AQ and resilience that all of us can not only measure, but that we can permanently rewire and improve.